Buffett's always, his principle is rule number 1 is don't lose money. Rule number 2 is don't forget the first rule. So I always think about if you're going to have your money and you say in safekeeping, it's not a bad principle to have. Now, of course, this is not financial advice, for goodness sake. I'm just saying do your own independent investigation or get a professional. But I've just been watching a lot of what he does. And that sweet spot, he really looks for it to come, for a stock to be undervalued or a company to be undervalued. And I always wondered, like, how do you do that? And he had this great explanation of it. He said, if you want to buy a nice house for $1 million and it generates $4,000 worth of income, but the rest of the houses in the street are somewhere around 850,000 and they're earning the same amount of income, he would see that as being overvalued in his own mind. So what he looks for, though, is for that house price to fall to, let's say, 600, 500,000, but it maintains the same revenue. So the $4,000 doesn't change. So he said that's very difficult to do in property. It's because the market just doesn't seem to work like that in property where you get these massive swings in value. But he says with companies, it does happen where the fundamentals and the company's strength is really, really good. And yet, for whatever reason, it might be the rest of the market catches cold because of inflation, talk of inflation and interest rates going up, and some of these great companies come down in price. But he will only buy if it's got a huge competitive edge, if it's in his value range of where he wants to buy. So he's adamant he will not. The only time he's ever lost money is when he's been on the edges of his circle of competence. So he really tries to stick to a familiar formula, and when that opportunity falls into that formula, he strikes. So yeah, it was just fascinating to me, the importance of working out your own investment principles and structures that are going to work for you.